expressed are solely those of the speaker, and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users. Also on demand on iTunes and YouTube. And you can check out GaryBaumgarten.com. Thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're also syndicated into 12 million additional households. Gary is out today. I will be your host. My name is Dan Warner, better known as Admin D, here on Paltalk.com. By the way, folks, if you're over on CRN and you want to participate in the show, it's really easy to get here. Just get on your computer, get on the internet, go to www.paltalk.com. It's a quick, free download. You can find us in the show's category. Stop in and ask your questions. Today we're going to be talking about the vice presidential debate that's coming up, and it's probably hard to talk about something that hasn't happened yet, but I think tomorrow is going to be the first time that a lot of folks in America have been introduced to either one of these folks. I must confess, I'm not an expert on either one of them. I'm not really an attack dog for either party, and I must confess here that I probably won't be voting for either one of the parties that they're running in. But they both have reputations, even though we may not know them. I know Sarah Palin's a bit new to the political landscape. Joe Biden is not. They're both admitted pit bulls for their party. Palin has said herself she's a pit bull with lipstick, basically. And Biden, admittedly, is the pit bull for Obama. He can say things that Obama cannot say. There's some things that I find interesting about tomorrow's debate. Number one, Palin's a woman. I'm going to upset all the women in here, probably. But if I do, you can come up on mic and tell me so. But Sarah Palin is kind of a hot, middle-aged woman who's smart, and that's sexy to a lot of guys, you know. So there's going to be a lot of guys that vote for Sarah and not for McCain. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's a bad reason to vote for her. But then again, there's a lot of women who might just vote for her because she's a woman, regardless of any experience or baggage. Yeah, someone here used the term MILF, and I'll let the listeners explain that term to your kids if they're listening. But yeah, it's true, and there are some men thinking with their little head rather than their big head when it comes to Sarah Palin. But by virtue of the fact that she is a woman, and by virtue of the fact that Biden's kind of a mean guy at times, you know, he gets that face with the clenched teeth and likes to point his fingers and stuff, and I don't know, if he comes across as like looking mean and pointing fingers at her, you know, some women are going to be really turned off by him, you know, like, oh look, he's attacking the woman because she's a woman, and he's talking down to her. It's going to be all kinds of little nuances that are thrown into this just because she's a woman. Maybe that's an unfortunate thing, but it's a fact. She's also got to be careful making comparisons, you know, about her experience, or lack thereof. She's got to watch the wisecracks about age and being a crotchety old man and all that kind of stuff doesn't backfire on her and McCain. Admittedly, both of them have made public statements that are kind of contrary to the policies of their running mates. And, you know, they both have some good points and bad points. Like, to me, I think it's a good thing that Sarah Palin is a Washington outsider, as it were. She's, you know, not part of the in crowd. You know, Biden is, but then Obama is not. So it's kind of, you know, like each ticket has its advantages and disadvantages in that regard. She's apparently not really rich, but then again, neither is Biden. Biden's kind of proud of being, you know, the least wealthy senator. He's worth between 60 grand and 360 grand, they say on Wikipedia. that makes him basically impoverished compared to most people that are in government. He's born in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a swing state. That's going to be, an advantage for him. But he does some dumb things too. He says dumb things, So it's kind of going to be an interesting debate. And like I said, I really don't know much about these folks. And I know on Paltalk, for those of you listening on CRN, Paltalk is full of people that are just so well informed about either candidate, and I'm sure that I'm about to get a good schooling. And I'd like you guys to come up here and tell me, why Sarah Palin's better than Biden, or why Biden is better than Sarah Palin, and what we should watch out for in tomorrow's debate. I think it's going to be really interesting. First up, I got Jeff in Michigan. Jeff, do you think that Palin's got an advantage because she's a woman?
I think she does, Admin D, and I think she does because she's taken on the big oil companies, all the gas companies, and I think Palin is real smart. A lot of people love her in Michigan, what I've been told, and I like this Paltalk news. It's pretty good, and good seeing you, Admin D. Appreciate all your work, and a lot of people love her, and I think she's doing good. Like you were saying, she's getting popular, Sarah Palin.
But do you think that she's got an advantage because she's a woman? I mean, it's kind of automatically built in. Does Biden
I think
have
she
to walk
does.
on eggshells? Okay, let's go to Anna in Florida. Anna, as a woman, what do you think?
Thanks a lot, Dan. And I do have to say that certainly I think that Governor Palin does have a certain amount of advantage, and in a way it's sort of a good thing, because then Joe Biden can sort of focus in on the issues and not get distracted by the attacks, because if he does attack her, then it certainly doesn't roll over very well for independent voters. At the same time, I really do think that they're going to focus in on foreign policy. She seems to be having a very hard time with that. I looked at her interview with Katie Couric, and